Hey, we are live. It's Kathy Kennedy, and it is Travel Talk Tuesday. Do you guys hear echo? I'm doing this. You guys can tell I'm not in my office. So I think maybe that. Hey, well, maybe it went away. I'm not sure. So anyway, I'm not in my office. And why I'm not in my office is because we have, living in the same house with COVID for a solid year and not going anywhere. Oh my gosh. You look at your house a lot closer. I've got a glare on my glasses. I know you guys can see that. Um, and I said, that's it. We have to paint the house. So we painted the house. I'm trying to get the echo off. So this is not my office. So if anybody that's been here before, this is not my office. This is actually, I don't know, what do you want to call this? This is my Kathy cave. Yeah, Kathy cave. It's kind of after you get through working and come up, you got a TV, I can read a book, I got a recliner here, got a small desk. So we've kind of moved everything a little bit upstairs so that I can continue to work. Got the phones here, so we're good. So anyway, this is Travel Talk Tuesday at 2. We're just a little bit early, just kind of hanging out online until all you guys can come on. As you come on, do me a favor and sign in. Let me know that you're there. I'm going to try something really brave today. I actually have a portion of a video that I want to share with you guys. So fingers crossed that I can make it work. I'm not Miss Technology Wizard here. So I'm going to try and do that. I should take my glasses off. No, I shouldn't take my glasses off. Gosh, I should put a mask on. Hey, Morgan, how are you? So glad you could join us. I do have, I guess this one is going to be a little bit different because, we've been going through what's going on in travel, what's happening. If you read or listen to the news, it depends on what channel you're on. If you read travel magazines, et cetera, et cetera. Fortunately, I have had, I guess now 3 trips this year. So I went to Cancun in May, which was amazing. Alaska was blow me away. And then just got back from Oregon. That one was fun only for family reasons. Hello, Miss Deborah from North Carolina. She said, I don't know if you're going to be getting any of this Ida. So Ida's starting to move in, I guess, here. And I'm starting to get an echo. So you guys hear echo? Morgan, do you hear an echo when I talk? If you don't, then I'm going to quit worrying about it. Because like I said, I'm in a different environment. I'm working off of a laptop and an iPad versus 2 major computers. So it's a little bit crazy. So anyway, we still have a little bit more time. And I don't have a clock here. So I'm consistently looking over here. It's fine. Thank you, Morgan. That's what I needed. So here's the deal. Typically every Friday, our CEO with Cruise Planners usually sends us some type of webinar, and she's showcased all kinds of experts. We've had all the Healthy Sail panel on. We've had, Richard Pham from Royal Caribbean, Celebrity, Vicky Freed. You just name them. We've had everybody on. And this past week, it was something really different that caught my attention. It was actually a fellow cruise planners. So I don't want to get into that too much because I kind of want to introduce the whole thing here at 2:00. Hello, Miss Sarah Housewright. Just printed out your trains document. And hello, Miss Barbara Tunnel from New Smyrna Beach. Ooh, I bet it's a little warm down there today. Miss Louise is on. We've got a group that is flying from Vegas, I pray. They're flying from Vegas. You don't know with these airlines anymore, I swear. They're flying from Vegas back today. They've been doing the America's Great Parks. I saw a lot of amazing pictures. Talked to Kathy Housewright briefly last night. She said it was just a mind-blowing trip. So I can't wait for them to get back and share that. And then we are getting ready to take all you guys that are on the trains and balloon festival. So you guys are going to be going out and do historic trains into Denver, coming down and doing the balloon festival. Oh gosh, that one's going to be a fabulous. And then in 2 weeks, is it 2 weeks? Yeah, this week, the rest of this week and the next week, I am going to be heading to the port with a small group, and we are going out on the brand new Odyssey of the Seas. So everybody's going, wow, that's a lot of travel going on with everything that's happening. Well, I think once I let you guys, and then, like I said, my fingers crossed that I can get you guys to hear this video, you're going to understand a little bit more. Everything right now, that's my personal opinion, is kind of towards a scare tactic to those who aren't vaccinated. Now, all of you know that, I'm vaccinated, and I think the majority of everybody I'm seeing on there is vaccinated. Oh, Louise is saying, I'm saying, where are you, Louise? She's saying, and I saw Morgan King. I'm going, well, where is she? She says, no, she's saying hi to Morgan. Morgan, you're a celebrity on the Travel Talk here. I love it. I love it. My dear friend Morgan. So anyway, I forgot where I was. So you have to tell me where was I. So anyway, with all the travel and stuff going on, people that are vaccinated, things are starting to shift a little bit. Cruise lines, travel companies, even some European countries are now starting to say vaccination is very, very important. And I know in many cases, I'm a little weary on booking people right now, knowing what's going on unless you are vaccinated. And I'm not going to shy away from it because I want you to go and have an amazing trip. And I also want you to come home healthy. So I think getting vaccinated, and in many cases, boom, the booster shot, which I think I talked to everybody that's going out with me next week, went ahead and got your booster shot, which you can do. You can go ahead and get the booster shot. But I'll cover some of that towards the end of this and towards the end of the thing. So I'm just going to see, am I on yet? Is it 2:00 yet? I'm going to start anyway. And I'm going to try and pull down this other one. So here's the deal. This is totally different. You're actually going to hear a little bit about what's going on with COVID, what's going on with the Delta variant, but you're not going to hear it from me, but you are going to hear it from another travel cruise planners. And Jan, by the way, Jan is, when I saw her name and I saw this video up with Michelle Fee, so I think that's where I was going. Michelle Fee does a video at the end of every single week, and it kind of gives us an update of what's going on. So obviously I'm not going to play that for all you guys, but I really wanted you to hear Jan, and I wanted you to hear what she's saying, and here's the reason for it. Jan and I actually joined Cruise Planners, I think it was about the same time, and she's an amazing woman. And we first met on a fam trip, which was actually in Cancun, Mexico. And we were at the Moon Palace with Palace Resorts. And we just kind of hit it off. She's just an incredible woman, as you're going to hear here in a few minutes. She is a full doctor, a medical doctor, and she just has incredible knowledge when it is coming to Laura Jane's trying to call me right now. Laura Jane, you can't call me. I'm on Travel Talk. So anyway, I'm going to start that here in a few minutes, and just want to say hey to a few other people out there. Mr. Gary Johnson, you and I talked this morning. Hey, Mr. Jason, your quick trip back from Greece. And Jason does a Travel Talk, kind of. I guess it's something else. And I was on your Travel Talk this morning, which was pretty cool. If you ever need an expert for Alaska, Jason, you need to call me. And Mr. Vedas, all right, up there in a big stone gap. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, and again, I'm in a temporary, this is not my office. This is temporary zone, and I'm running off. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed. So Morgan, I'm going to count on you, and maybe Louise and a couple of you other guys out there. If for some reason this fails, because what's going to happen once I go into it, I'm actually going to lose the screen, so I can't see your comments. So if something goes wacky or wonky, then text me, because I can get a text, that type of thing. So here we go. This again, I'm going to intro. This is a cruise planner's agent. She kind of does it obviously part-time because her full-time job is as a doctor. And this was a short video. I think it's about 12 minutes. So it's going to take up some of our time here to talk about COVID and what the real facts are. So bear with me. I'm going over here to the screen and I'll get it started.
Let's bring on our guest this week. And I love this because I had a chat with this lovely lady last week at our Elite Summit. And yes, Jan Keith is a cruise planner megastar, but she's also a medical doctor. So while we were in Mexico last week, I started chatting with Jan and I started asking her all kinds of questions about, COVID-19, the vaccines, the Delta variant. And then a thought popped into my head and I thought, I think Jan should be our guest on our Friday update. So welcome, Jan. Here she is.
Hello, Michelle and Teresa. I'm so glad to be here today. Thank you for having me on your program.
Oh, we're so excited to have you here. So first of all, Jan, let's give everybody a little bit of background on, what type of medical doctor are you, a little bit about, how you came into that field.
Well, okay, so I'm a physician. I'm an MD. I graduated from the University of Colorado School of Medicine, and I did 2 residencies. So my specialties are emergency medicine and internal medicine, and I practiced in Colorado. I was also a physician in the Army. So most recently, I was on the clinical faculty at Rocky Vista Medical School in Colorado, and we just transferred to Florida, and I'm now involved in healthcare policy work.
Wow, you've got an impressive background, and you have 4 kids. I don't know how you did it.
5, yes.
Oh, 5 kids. I don't even know how you did it. So, Jan, there's so much information about COVID, vaccines, variants, and, it's so perplexing and confusing. And, people are, finding information on TV, but if you listen to different news channels, each one of them are giving you different information. Plus, we've got the social media outlets and other sources. It seems like everyone has an opinion. And quite honestly, I'm going to speak for myself. I'm just confused, and I think a lot of others are as well. And honestly, this is not to shame anyone, but it's more about trying to give good information. So, Jan, let's jump right in and start off with some statistics. Can you cover these statistics and share them with our advisors?
Sure, yes. And you're right, Michelle. It is hard to sift through this information and find good information. We'll talk about that. So here, the first one, there's over 190 million vaccinated in the U.S., or about 57% of the U.S. population. Some states more than others, but we've made a great start. We just need to do more. This virus needs us to be a host. It cannot replicate or duplicate on its own. It's not even a whole cell. It needs us. So we need to, get these numbers up, but we've done really, really well. So 190 million people vaccinated already. So that is really good. Now, 0.01% of less of vaccinated people will get a breakthrough infection. So no vaccine is 100%. We knew this, and particularly with the variants that we're getting. So these are mutations. It's like a typo on the virus. Most of the typos, when it's reproducing, are inconsequential, but occasionally there's a typo that shows it's more adaptable, and that's how mutations get started. But these vaccines are still highly doing what they're supposed to do, really preventing the serious hospitalizations and death. Some people, the breakthrough infections could be mild, but see 0.1%. That's really very small breakthrough if you're vaccinated. So you should still have a lot of confidence. So 9 in 10 people hospitalized are unvaccinated. That is so sad right now. We'll talk about this. The ICUs, the hospitals are full. The ICUs, the children's ICUs are full. There's a lot of people that cannot get a hospital bed for non-COVID related things, cancers, heart attacks, appendicitis, etc., because these are being taken up by hospitalization for unvaccinated people. It's really wearing the healthcare providers down. They're so tired. So many nurses are quitting. And then 99% of severe illness is in unvaccinated people. And that is right. The vaccines do really a great job of preventing the severe illness.
Right. So let's jump in to my first question is the FDA has now approved at least the Pfizer COVID vaccine. So what does that mean?
Yes, that was great news this week. We have that full approval of Pfizer, or now called Comirnaty. And probably the Moderna is going to be on the way in a couple of months. So it's interesting to know. So there's, I hope people will feel a bit more confident now that there is full FDA approval for this vaccine. They had to really review hundreds of thousands of pages of data. There were no corners cut, even on the emergency authorization. No processes skipped. We really assure people of that.
So Jan, how did that happen? Because one of the questions that we hear a lot is this vaccine is just too new. How do I know that I'm not going to have side effects like 5 years from now? This vaccine was just created way too fast. So
yes, I've heard that a lot myself and from patients. So it's if you really look, the mRNA vaccine platform is not new. It's really been around for over 10 years. It was developed in response to virus infections like MERS and SARS, remember? It was over 10 years ago. The large clinical trials for that didn't continue because the virus is kind of burned out. But the platform of the vaccine was approved and ready. So once the sequence of the novel coronavirus COVID-19 was established, which with our genome abilities did not take very long, it was like a plug and play. Rapidly, we were able to develop the vaccine for that spike protein on the virus. And then combine that, the Project Warp Speed provided tons and tons of money for development. Usually financing of a drug takes a lot of time. It's really hard to get all the money. And when the financing barrier was removed, that shaved off a lot of time. Then the clinical trials were able to be done because patients were ready they had a network set up for other vaccine trials like HIV vaccine, et cetera. So there were a lot of patients already in that network, plus there were thousands more that signed up to be enrolled. And we happened to have a little luck that the first couple of companies that had done all of the steps and done all the research, they were successful and they were effective. So Pfizer and Moderna, they were highly effective. And then there was also the Johnson & Johnson that was created on a traditional vaccine platform. So 2.75 billion vaccines have been administered worldwide. So it's probably one of the safest and best vaccine developed.
Wow. And so, then you've gotten some other questions. One of them is, can the vaccine affect your DNA?
Oh, okay. So the vaccine does not get even into your nucleus and so of your cells. So it cannot affect your DNA. And one of the other questions that you could ask us is, this is a non-live vaccine, we have live virus vaccine and non-live. there has never been a non-live vaccine that has caused significant problems years down the road. So that just has not happened. And COVID-19 vaccine is a non-live vaccine. So it does not get into your cell. It does not get into your nucleus to affect your DNA. In fact, the vaccine is out of your body in about 72 hours. What's left over is the antibodies that you make to it.
Okay. And so we also have heard, and I understand this, that women in their childbearing years, they're afraid that number one, maybe it would hinder them getting pregnant, or number two, if they do get pregnant, they might have some birth defects.
Okay. So basically, there's been a lot of rumors and information about that, but there's really no basis in fact that there's any problems here. So because the vaccines do not enter the cell nucleus, do not affect the DNA, they are safe and effective before, during, and after pregnancy. They also do not affect fertility. So many women in the original vaccine trials have become pregnant. And I can also, at the end of the talk, will refer you to the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecology website, acog.org. There's a lot of studies and facts about this. And what we do know is that pregnant women who contract COVID are at a very high risk of severe disease, miscarriage, and complications. So vaccine is highly recommended. They've also done fertility studies in men, and there's no problems. They've done pre and post vaccine sperm counts. There is no issue there in men either.
Okay, another question I've heard a lot is, look, I am strong, I am healthy, so even if I get COVID, I probably won't get too sick, especially if, most people are, younger, because I know that, when the vaccine did come out, the mature elderly got it first. They seem to have really embraced it, but the younger generation is saying I'm strong and healthy. What would you say to that?
Oh, well, first of all, no one is immune to this virus. And COVID can be transmitted even if you're not feeling ill. So the coronavirus, with its spike protein, is especially dangerous in that it can affect organs and incite kind of a hyperactivity. We've heard of this cytokine storm, and it can affect a lot of organs. So up to 30% of people that contract COVID will have what we call long COVID symptoms. And this is really bad. Symptoms of shortness of breath, heart, neurologic problems, and more. In fact, I have a young family member, age 32, totally healthy before, who got just moderate original COVID. And he is really totally, severely disabled now from heart and neurologic problems. So we see this hyperactivity reaction a lot in young people, particularly in young people. And
that's a big percentage. 30% is 30% is
20 to 30% will have some long COVID. Sometimes it's only 6 months, the loss of taste and smell. But some people are having very long and even very, very long COVID symptoms. And we are seeing younger and younger people, of course, affected with this Delta variant.
And so what if somebody had COVID, they had the antibodies, and now the antibodies have left their system? Can they get COVID again?
Absolutely, yeah. Now, this is a real interesting group of people, because some of these that have had original COVID are wondering if they should get the vaccine. This is a really interesting group. And what is so important that they get the vaccine, because with original COVID, we see the antibodies tend to start to wane at about 30 days. Now, it depended on how, what kind of a virus load you had, but tends to wane at about 30 days. It's so important, if you had original COVID, to get the vaccine because it is much more specific to the spike protein and offers much better long-term protection. And then scientists can do studies about how long the vaccine, lasts. Now we're knowing that, say, 8 months out, you should get people should get a booster as far as that goes. But actually, some of these people that had the original COVID plus get vaccinated are really kind of our superstars as far as you might still have a little bit of that natural antibody, plus you've got the antibody from the vaccine, and you are so good at helping protect others around you. And so you guys are, people that are in that situation can be our superstars for being, immunized and.
See, I knew I was a superstar.
You are, see.
Yes, I had it and I got the vaccine, so I am ready to go. So another question we always get is, we've heard that you can get COVID even if you have the vaccine. So why should I even get the vaccine?
Oh, well, obviously we just saw the statistics of how severely ill you can get if you don't have the vaccine. Right. If you do get breakthrough infection, it should be mild. But people are just kind of wondering about that, but it is so important to do that, particularly now with that Delta variant. We're seeing.
Let's talk about the Delta variant, because the original variant, and you were explaining this to me while we were in Mexico, and it's really interesting about the sticky factor.
Okay, so when I say Delta, I was like, think of D, like for double, actually, so the Delta variant is double, actually 4 times more sticky than the original one. And what happens is these particles will stick to the nasopharynx, even in a vaccinated person. And in a vaccinated person, they'll tend to then shed these particles within about 5 days, but they can transmit it to others. Thus, it's really important to use a mask when you're indoors, because you won't even know that you have that. You're vaccinated, but behind your tissues, that immunity that you've built up is going, no way, virus, you're not getting past, you're not getting into this system, or if there's a tiny bit, if it does infect you, it would be very, very mild, but the antibodies are going, no way are you getting beyond this. So, but you still could have a large amount of virus load in your nasopharynx, and that's where you don't want to give that to little kids or people that can't get vaccinated, the under 12 years of age. So that's why it's so important. This Delta is so much more, think D, so much more deadly, and it spreads doubly fast too, and it's just a disaster. So we have to really double up on our protection and everything that we can do in our defenses against this variant.
And I know some people out there have allergies or immune deficiencies. I know when the vaccine became available, it was, a question, should I get it? Shouldn't I get it? And I think at this point now it's FDA approved. What do you say to somebody who has underlying health conditions?
Oh, your underlying health conditions really can make you much more prone to severe COVID sequelae. And so definitely you want to talk to your trusted physician about your individual case, but we are seeing immune suppressed people. We had people in the original study with MS, for example. So they got the vaccine, and of course you just saw this week that immune suppressed people are eligible for the booster even now. Because they may not continue to have that high antibody load, so we're trying to increase that immunity and boost those antibodies in an immune suppressed person. But there's no question if you have an underlying problem that COVID could be worse in your case. And one of the really good references at the end of our talk is the American Association of Allergy, Asthma and Immunology, AAAI.org, and they have some great articles about it.
Well, let's look at that. So you did send over some websites where people can find good information, because I think that's what's lacking is we're hearing all of these different, everybody's got an opinion, everybody's got different information. So here's some great websites to your point.
Very good. Yes. One of them that I really like, and you can just see, go to these original websites in all of these cases, and then usually look down on the right side for related articles. The American Medical Association, and actually I have two of my colleagues that are national leaders, an immunologist and an allergist that are national leaders at the American Medical Association, and they have collaborated with me, on this talk and other answers, and collaborated on multiple. They've been in the news and multiple national talks about answering all the questions. Mayo Clinic, the American College of Physicians, who are internists and all the internal medicine specialties like pulmonology, and gastroenterology, all of those. The American College of Surgeons. Johns Hopkins University has the great statistics. So coronavirus.jhu.edu. And then for all the fertility related concerns, ACOG, American College of Obstetricians, Gynecologists, and of course the Allergy, Asthma and Immunology Society.
Oh, great. Jan, this has been such awesome information, but if you can leave us with one last thought, what would that be?
Oh gosh, I could talk about this all day, but I just, I would just say as a physician, I love people. People are smart. We are bold. We just need to, just say we're not going to be a host to this virus anymore. We need, it wears us down, but we've got to be so persistent and just, talk to your personal physician, look at these facts, because the virus will change and, a new behavior, new strategies. So to stay ahead of the game, always look at this, very good sources of information, and stay knowledgeable with good, good information. And let's pull together and just stay ahead of this horrible virus.
I can't thank you enough.
All right. I don't know what you guys thought of that, and I'm going to try and get back on the screen here, but give me 2 seconds. There I am. Yay. I thought that was amazing. And I'm going to send that out to you guys, because I know a lot of you might have people. I mean, and Michelle is such an incredible, interviewer, because she's bringing up all the questions and all the things that I'm sure many of you guys are hearing out there. Feel free to send this video to them. Say, look, just fast forward until you see the green screen. And I thought Jan just did an excellent understanding of what is going on and what we need to do. We all need to get vaccinated. In fact, we all, those of you, and like I said, I've talked to many of you, and I'll kind of just share this story real quick on myself, because when the booster information came out, I said, okay, that's in the news, so I need to find out what's going on. So I called my pharmacist. Now, I don't really have a pharmacist because I don't take medication, but it's the nearest drugstore. Okay, so I called CVS and I talked to the pharmacist. He was so funny. And I said to him, I said, okay, I gave him my age. I gave him my husband's age. No, I'm not going to tell you. I told him that I'm relatively healthy. I had my shots back in January. My second one actually was February 1st. And I just traveled to Alaska, to Oregon. I'm getting ready to go to the Caribbean. I'm then going to Paris and Cancun and then Punta Cana before the end of the year. So, do you think I should get the booster? What do you think he said? Well, he actually said, he was very creative. He says, well, there's a short answer and a long answer. And he said, and the short answer is yes. The long answer is pretty much the booster is just going to give you the extra coverage. Very much about what Jan was talking about on the video is that this Delta V is stickier. It's stickier. Now, you might have the vaccine, and I love how she explains it. It's kind of like it gets in there and it's like it says, whoa, you can't go any further. If you have the booster, and I'm saying that you should maybe do like I did, call your pharmacist, call your doctor, then it's just going to cover it up more. It's going to stop it more so, especially with if you're doing more travel, like I am doing a lot of travel coming up. So it's only going to protect me a little bit more. So it's something I highly recommend. It was very easy. He stayed on the phone with me. He says, I know you said you're not, you don't have any, I don't have any illnesses or pre-existing anything. And he said, just go in there. And when it comes to questions, it says, is your immune system compromised? Click yes. And then boom, he says, you'll get your shot. I got my shot at 5 o'clock that afternoon. And so did my husband. So, and then the question was about the 8 months. And Jen even referenced to the 8 months, but then twice now on national news, and I think it was once on CBS and once on NBC, that they're not sure that 8 months is it's it. It could be 6 months, it could be 8 months. They're not really sure. But I go back to what the pharmacist said. The pharmacist said it's only going to give you that extra coverage. Now, he did say that on September the 20th, and I also heard this morning on the news, September 20th, that it's pretty much the booster is going to be available. And I'm kind of speaking to you guys because you're up there in that kind of that more mature age bracket. How do you like that? And that that as of the 20th, they're going to open it up, but the rumor is it's going to be tiered out, just like the COVID was. Like it was 75 and older could get their shots, and then it kept tiering down. But you can actually go in there on CBS.com and you can sign up and get the booster today. But it's not something I'm recommending. I'm underlining that. I'm not recommending that. I recommend that you talk to your pharmacist or talk to your doctor in order to do that. So I just hope this has been very, very helpful to you guys. It's not so much about travel, but it is about health. And it's about us all getting back to normal so that we can travel the world and not feel. The other thing I got from that, by the way, I used to have this hesitancy to wear a mask. So another quick story. I go out to Oregon. If you guys have seen it in the news, Oregon is usually in the news. They are so bad with this virus. It's not even funny. Even my son and my daughter-in-law were just taken back by, you can't walk anywhere without a mask on. You can't go in a store without a mask on. It's like the law out there. So I'm out there and I'm thinking for 5 days, okay, did Tennessee change? Did something happen? I come back here, not pretty much everything's the same. But the one thing about listening to Jan's piece here is that I'm fine. I've got 3 shots in my arms. I'm healthy. I'm active. And so I'm probably not going to get it, but I don't want to give it to somebody else. So I took Denali to the vet. He's fine. He just went for something. He's neurotic. That's his problem. So I took him to the vet, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to wear my mask just because I wanted to be courteous and say, well, I'm not, but I don't want to get anybody else's. And especially right now, kids under 12. So I hope that helps. I'm going to run out here. Miss Deborah, if that helps, you guys give me thumbs up. If not, do me, and you think it might help somebody to get vaccinated, because I'll tell you right now, the only way we're going to get out of this pandemic is for everybody to get a shot in the arm. And it's like Jan said, tell this virus, you cannot let my body be a host to it. And that we stand the ground. It's a war. We stand the ground and say, you're not going there. So let's see, who else do I have? I got more comments down here, so it's telling me. I can see the board now. Hello, let's see. Barbara Tunnel, got that. Louise is there. Thank you for doing closed captioning. I don't know what that means, but you're welcome. Let's see. Morgan, Gary's there. Let's see. Anybody else? Oh, okay. We got Eloise there, Deanne there. Hey, Deanne, I just put your package together for the trains. We'll see you on the 9th. Deborah said she got her booster 2 months ago. You go, girl. And what do people say who are more afraid of the vaccine than they are of COVID? Well, it's a very good question. And that's Diane answered that. And the thing is if you look at the statistics and you go into the hospitals and you see who's in the hospital beds and you see that they're on the ventilator and you ask yourself, would a small reaction to a shot, or do I want to be hooked up to a ventilator and not know what tomorrow's going to be? So, I don't want to be, but I mean, I've read one thing. I think Darla Klein posted something the other day that gave the 7 steps that you go through once you get it. If I had an option, let's say I have an allergic to like the flu shot or something, and so I'm a little worried, I'd go to my doctor and say, I'll take a couple of days in bed with a reaction to a shot versus 9 days in a hospital and a ventilator and maybe not coming out. So it's a choice. But I will tell you that if you get it and if it's bad, and with the Delta V, it's taking people completely healthy and it's taking them down that road. So I hope that helped, Diana. I don't know. Louise says, visit those websites. It's another one. I love it. You guys coach each other. Visit the websites that Jan posted on it. You can go back, play, and stop, and you guys can do it. And like she said, listen to the experts and follow the science. And it's just, I guess I'm promoting it a little bit because I think we're going to need to promote it a little bit, just as the news media is trying to promote it. If you're vaccinated, if you've got a booster, you're good. So just remember that. Don't fall into, oh, they're talking about me. They're not. And with that, with the last thing, that's enough on that. So I want to give you a couple of dates here, and then we're going to sign off because I think we're running a little bit long. September 7th is going to be the next Travel Talk. And the next Travel Talk, September 7th. Is that right? Somebody give me a calendar. Is that when the next Tuesday is? Travel Talk Tuesday is. Yes. Yeah. I don't know. So Barry Johnston is going to be on here with me, and he's going to be talking a little bit about this special event that we have planned for September the 9th. Plus, we're going to be on daytime television on the 8th. So I really want to see if we can get a big crowd. He's got some prizes. We've got specials that we're going to run. So again, this is a Viking special event live on the 9th. We'll be on daytime on the 8th, and he'll be here on Travel Talk on the 7th. And then I'll send that out. On the 14th, Travel Talk, I'm going to try to do this from the Odyssey of the Seas. So we're going to be live on board a ship, and we're going to try to do Travel Talk Tuesday at 2 on the 14th on the ship. We're going to skip the 21st, and then on the 28th, I've got Celebrity coming in. So that'll kind of give you the month of September for Travel Talk. Pencil in also October 14th for Travel Club. And I will remind you guys all this a little bit later on. But for now, thank you very much for coming here. Share this. Again, a lot of good information from Jan. If you guys feel it was, I think it was great. So I'm very lucky to have her as a fellow cruise planners. So be safe, be sane, be satisfied.